The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, all right, and good Tuesday morning, everyone. Merry Christmas Eve. We got a two-man crew today, so me and my brother Pedro. Good morning, Pedro.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy Christmas Eve. Stay warm. It's cold out there over here. It looks like it's drizzling and stuff like that. You know?
I haven't been outside and I ain't planning on going out, so I just stay in the house with the heater on.
Good idea. Good idea.
But yeah, no, it's Christmas Eve, so I hope everybody's got all their last minute stuff done, and they can chillax and get ready for the festivities tomorrow, wherever that may be, whether you're traveling or maybe you're doing it at your house, whatever that case may be, But yeah, I mean, I'm staying home, and I got my daughter from Long Beach coming out. With Chanel just having her thing, so she ain't in the mood of doing no cooking. So they done decided we're going to do personal pan pizzas, and then we're also going to do some hot wings.
Oh, fire.
So something different really on Christmas.
Yeah, that's something different. Yeah. Myself, I'm heading to my mom's pad. She's cooking something called panes rellenos and stuff like that. It's like a French roll. Well, it's not a French roll, but it's a French bread. You cut it, you put chicken and broth in it. Then you get the chopped up cabbage and stuff that is steamed, and with cucumbers and rábanos and other good stuff like that. Pretty good. Ashley's making pupusas, so I got family out of town that came in. So I'm gonna be over there with my children celebrating, but we all know we do got those last minute shoppers, guys. So if you're out there in the store, if you're navigating with your cane, I know you can get frustrated because the people that are rushing around are the last minute shoppers, and they're trying to jump and play jump rope over your cane and things like that. So be careful. Also be careful on the street. We got these drivers trying to get to their location going real quick, and sometimes some of these drivers don't be watching out the street. So be aware, take your time, get there safe, But if you're driving and you're listening to the podcast, leave 5 minutes early, even 10 minutes early, just to make sure if you need to catch a parking, you have 10 minutes extra to look for parking. And probably you find parking in 5 minutes, you have another 5 minutes to walk to your destination.
Right.
Yeah, so, take your time, be careful, get with family, enjoy yourself, have a cup of eggnog or whatever it may be, dabble in your little thing, kick it with family, enjoy each other's company. That's what Christmas is about. The presents are extra.
That's right. That's commercializing. So anyway, I'm going to holler at and say good morning to God first. He dropped a couple comments and good morning and all that other stuff. So it sounds good. So
good morning, God first. You want me to read them out or what?
No, I already did it. Okay.
All right, God first. Hey, good looking. Good tuning in. Merry Christmas too.
Thank you for tuning in right on. As soon as we went live, they're right up in here. So, yeah, Merry Christmas Eve, and
they're gonna have that Charlie Brown Christmas running on TV. Enjoy a little bit of that. It's been a tradition for a long time.
Right,
They always
right.
catch
Well,
those.
I used to watch all them little Charlie Brown specials when I was younger, but then I watched them again when my kids were young. Now I'm good.
No, now that no, you got to do it now, Ed. They have to save the body,
Uh,
yo.
that's all right. I don't. I mean, again, Pedro, I don't do regular TV. That's.
Yeah, I feel
I
you.
don't need it. I mean, the cable companies and everybody, they want to get out of control with their price. And I looked up, and I'm spending $250 a month for TV.
I know.
You know,
It is ridiculous, and that's an article we will bring to you guys. It's something I've been wanting to discuss. Is the legacy media, and when I refer to legacy media, I'm not referring to just the news organizations. I'm referring to the overall aspects of media that's being brought to you by like cable companies like Time Warner, Comcast, and stuff like that, Spectrum, through traditional cable wiring and cable boxes. And now everything is rented out to you, your modem, your router, your cable boxes, everything. And the price has been ridiculous. I remember, and I know you remember, Ed, back in the 90s when cable was out, no commercials, no commercials. Now you there sitting for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, sometimes 4 commercials, you know?
well, I mean, and now we did have commercials, Pedro, but they weren't commercials about Cadillacs. They were more of upcoming shows.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah. Yeah.
know,
That's
you know.
promotional, meaning promotion for the
Right, right,
network.
right, right. Because I mean, again, and I don't know. My
And if
wife,
you
she
had a
was just
commercial too, right, Ed? It was right after the movie. You would have a commercial of a movie or something, then a little commercial of whatever, right?
well. I mean, again, mine was always about up and coming on whatever platform, whether it was HBO or Cinemax or Showtime, whatever. It was more everything was related to that channel. And
Mm,
then once they started having multiple channels, then it was
mhm.
about get the full package where you have three HBOs or
Man, I used to have the full package.
that's what I'm saying. My wife, she wanted to have the full package. Man, we had two or three maybe four HBOs,
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 of
cine,
them.
right, three or four Cinemax and three or
Mhm,
four Showtimes, and then you
mhm.
get into what was it, Stars? Come on, man, it's just way too
Hey,
many channels. You know what I'm saying? Can't even watch all of them at one time. So
I
it was about
know.
kind of, and then again, the crazy part is regular network TV is free, but then they want to start charging you to do it through your cable. You
Yeah,
know,
that's the crazy part, right? Like
yeah.
even if you say, man, I just want the broadcast channels. Oh, that's like 15 to 30 bucks depending on. I'm like, what the? Get an antenna, bro. You're making it. You could have your stuff here. Let me disconnect it myself and come pick it up. And
Uh,
God first. Hopefully I don't know. It's a she or a he, but they say, "Gosh, that's high for cable." And yes, God first. We're over here in California. I don't know how it is, probably where you're at, but yeah, the cable prices get crazy. I remember telling my children's mom, I was like, "Look, let's just disconnect the cable and pay for a couple of streaming sites, you know?" And she's like, "No, no, no, the kids, the kids, they don't watch cable. I have my kids." They don't watch regular TV. They won't turn on and go. They like their anime, but they won't go on and watch Disney or Disney XD. They don't go to the little bit of Comedy Central they used to, but they don't really do that. They like their
right,
movies, but they don't go watch. And that's the thing I'm talking about. Legacy media, like cable, in 5 to 10 years, it's almost gonna be gone if they don't change the direction of how they're handling their prices. Because you
right. I get
could
you.
get good entertainment for like 30 bucks. You could get 3 streaming services and another like what 45, get the Netflix too, and you could have 3 different
Okay.
streaming sites and man, it adds up. And then we all pay for Prime. And if you pay for Prime, you got Prime. And my Fire TV, when I logged in into my services, it told me I had over 800 channels available. And you know how much
Yeah.
I pay? $45.
Well, I mean, again, they have different things you can do, but again, all of the, high profile channels, Cinemax, HBO, all that stuff, they're going to cost you more. You can get 85 regular network channels. I mean,
No, it's
again,
124 now.
right. Okay. But again, to get, the HBO and all those kind of channels, then they just start tacking on another 14, 20 bucks a month for this
Oh.
one, whatever, right? So anyway, God first said she is a female. So
Oh, okay. Hey, God first.
thank you for straightening that out for us, sweetie. But anyway, talking about pricings and stuff like that, we got a couple of different areas we're going to touch on today, but it all has to do with pricing and stuff like that. So we're going to get into this first one. This is about the Amazon strike. For those that do not know, Amazon is on strike. So let's get into that, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Today on Coffee Time, Amazon workers strike for better conditions. As of December 22nd, 2024, Amazon faces widespread labor unrest as workers at facilities across the United States stage strikes demanding higher wages, improved working conditions, and union recognition. The strikes, occurring during the peak holiday shopping season, mark a pivotal moment in the ongoing labor movement within the e-commerce giant. Nationwide strikes shake Amazon's operations. Workers at 7 Amazon facilities in major cities such as New York, Atlanta, San Francisco, and Southern California have joined coordinated strikes. Organized by the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, these actions represent one of the most significant collective labor efforts against Amazon to date. Key worker grievances: wages and benefits. Striking employees report inadequate pay that fails to meet basic living costs. Southern California delivery drivers highlight earning $22 an hour without paid lunch breaks while working grueling 10-hour shifts under constant surveillance. Demanding conditions. Many workers describe Amazon's workplace environment as excessively stressful, with strict performance metrics and limited support. Union recognition. Workers are calling on Amazon to recognize their union affiliations and begin contract negotiations. Despite previous unionization successes, such as the Staten Island warehouse vote in 2022, Amazon has largely refused to engage with unions, citing disputes over representation and employment structures. Amazon's stance. Amazon downplays the strikes, asserting they involve only a small portion of its workforce and are unlikely to disrupt operations. The company maintains that the protesting workers are employed by third-party contractors, not Amazon itself, challenging the legitimacy of the union's claims. In a statement, Amazon spokesperson Kelly Nantel emphasized the company's commitment to offering competitive wages and benefits and accused unions of spreading misinformation. Broader context and implications. National labor movement. The strikes occur amid a larger push for workers' rights and unionization, spurred by anticipated changes under the incoming administration. Labor experts suggest that workers are leveraging this moment to accelerate unionization efforts ahead of potential shifts in labor laws and the National Labor Relations Board, NLRB, composition. Impact on e-commerce. While Amazon's immediate operations remain largely unaffected, the strikes signal growing tensions in the logistics and e-commerce sectors, with potential long-term consequences for labor relations. A turning point for Amazon and its workforce. The Amazon strikes highlight a critical clash between one of the world's largest corporations and its workforce over issues of pay, working conditions, and representation. This growing movement reflects a broader trend of workers advocating for greater equity and dignity in the workplace, potentially reshaping labor dynamics across industries. What do you think about the ongoing strikes at Amazon? Are these actions a necessary step toward better labor practices, or do they pose risks to the broader economy? Join the conversation and share your thoughts. Now, back to the coffee time crew for their thoughts.
So I remember, I don't know if it was just pre-COVID, whatever it was. Amazon was offering almost kind of like a franchise thing, Pedro,
Mm,
where you could buy in and get a franchise of where you got a district, a region,
mm-hmm,
and they gave you an Amazon van, right? With
mm-hmm.
the franchise, right? And but basically you were a contractor, okay? And then you had this area, and then as you went on, you could actually buy more areas, right? And get more trucks and so on and so forth. And again, like the article saying, technically these people that are on strike right now, they're not actual Amazon employees,
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
Oh, okay. I see the little the way they try to take it legality, you know?
right, right. But see now, if they had the actual folks inside the warehouses doing the picking and doing the packing and all that other kind of stuff, they'd get
Hmm.
a lot more, weight behind what they're trying to do. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. Well, they busted a Uber move. Uber was like, they don't deserve us to pay them like employees. They're contractors. That's what Amazon is saying, that they're contractors. Yeah, I didn't know that post COVID.
Yeah, but it's just
Uh,
for the delivery part, though. You
yeah,
know what
just
I'm
the
saying?
delivery part. And they
Yeah.
do have these drivers too that use their own car, man, to deliver these packages and stuff like that.
Right.
And their car is taking damage and stuff like that. But I remember, I think it was a year, 2 years ago. Amazon was union busting. The I know the factory over there in New York. Amazon was doing some foul. When they were going to vote for the union, Amazon put a mailbox in front of their entrance, and they had a camera pointing to the mailbox so they could know who was dumping, like dumping in their votes and all that stuff, you know. And I remember that they were doing other techniques too, that they were going into detail. I remember in the news they were talking about how they were doing.
Well, see, the crazy
And
part is like the one
mhm,
in Staten Island you talking about, right?
mhm.
So they actually end up winning and organizing and becoming a union, right?
But they
But the
fired
crazy
that one
part,
guy.
well, they ended
Uh-huh.
up firing the guy that organized, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
and and brought them together. But my point being, you
Mhm.
would think that it would go company wide, but they're not doing that. It's each individual warehouse has to do their own
Mm,
thing. Each individual distro center has to do their own. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay.
and now they also talking about, because a lot of these folks that are drivers, they're trying to organize because they're in the transportation side of it, right?
Mhm.
They're trying to organize with the Teamsters. So
Mm.
now they blaming the Teamsters for, influencing these folks and doing the strike during the holiday rush.
Yes. And okay, and I think they should unionize because of what was happening. I don't know if you've been online, if you've seen the news. There were drivers saying that they had to pee on bottles because they couldn't take bathroom breaks. They were on a rush. They were on a time limit. They were on camera and stuff like that. But they were using the bathroom on a water bottles, guys. We're in a modern country, and we have workers resorting to that because a company is being so authoritarian with their surveillance on their workers. I think that's counterproductive. You're stressing out your workers that make your company move. These workers are essential to your company's profits, and you're willing to treat them like trash. I think that's why, I think it's a good move. Um, and also, if Staten Island was able to unionize, I think the whole option should have gone across the whole country for all the Amazon factories. Why not? Why just be like, oh well, they got to over there. No, y'all over there, y'all no, y'all have to start all over again. It's it's
Right.
it's, it's basically the system is most preferring the manager class of this company, you know, and sometimes it's bad, it's messed up to say, but us workers, us people in the bottom get the short end of the stick sometimes. Sometimes we're too busy working, or we don't get well informed because we're what? We're trying to survive. We're trying to put food in our on our people's tables and our families' tables. We're trying to help out and all this stuff, but we don't have time to do all this because they what? They try to do you 10 hours, 12 hours working, and you're exhausted when you get home to do research, to look into the news, or to look into your policies and stuff like that. So it gets daunting, and sometimes it seems like they have they got a foot on top of us,
Well,
you know.
always, corporate America is always going to try to keep a foot on our throat, you know. So, and God first is basically agreeing with what we're saying in the comments down there as well. So,
All
uh, uh,
right,
but
God
uh,
first.
I mean, again, they've always tried to do that. I mean, you know, I remember back when I still had sight and I was driving trucks.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled in to a terminal down, and the longshoremen were on strike, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they come pulling there. Oh, well, you can't come in here. Number one, we on strike. Number two, well, I'm not a union member, so your strike really don't mean nothing to me, right? So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I went down and joined the Teamsters and whatever because they wanted me to be a Teamster, whatever. And then I still caught issues like I go to a dock, right? And I'm good because I'm a Teamster, I'm a driver. But certain docks, if you weren't longshoremen, you could not load your own freight. You understand what I'm saying? You
Mm,
actually had to pay a longshoreman, as what they call them, lumpers, to
mm-hmm.
come and load your freight for you, right? Well, the company I was subleased to, I mean, they had a couple of people that were within that, right? So, man, I'm not paying you. You know what I'm saying? So I went ahead and called the office, and they sent dude down. And the thing was, it was all on pallets, right? So he just gets the forklift, goes, gets it. He sets it up on the back of the truck. Once it's up on the back of the truck, it's mine.
Yeah, I saw
Now I
you right
can
there.
do, yeah, now I can do whatever, right? So
Take it
anyway,
home.
right. So anyway, so he came, and once he put that last pallet on me, he went ahead and bounced because I mean he's an owner operator like me, right? But anyway, so he bounced. I go back and I'm taking the forklift back to the where you because you rent forklifts over there at that time, right? Anyway, dude comes up to the original longshoreman dude. He says, "Well, I thought you was gonna have some." I did. They were here. I asked to check her. Whatever. So I went and took the forklift back, came back, signed all my paperwork, pulled out, closed my doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Started rolling down the highway, Pedro.
Mm-hmm.
Dude had literally taken one of them big hunting knives and flattened out two of my tires
Wow.
on my truck. I mean,
Wow. Wow,
okay,
Petty.
because he thought I was lying to him, man. I mean, and we talking about back then, we talking about in the late 70s, right? These tires was $250 a piece back then. So he basically cost me $500 because he cut it in the sidewall. They can't be repaired. I literally had to
Yeah,
buy
yeah.
two new tires, So, but yeah, I mean, these unions, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not against unions. I mean, I think they are for the workers. They do promote, better wages and all that kind of good stuff, better working conditions, which all that's cool. But at the same time, when you have somebody like myself that was owner operator, right? Why should I have to join your union? I don't get company benefits. I got my own company. You understand what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So I mean, it was crazy, but yeah,
Yeah, but since then, the unions the union's been slowly disappearing. the work conditions for workers, especially like for like retail, for restaurants and other places that are earning minimum wage. They're they're getting the short end of the stick. Their unions are not as popular as before, but I think that they're starting to see the place of the union where it can help, you know.
Right.
And I think sometimes for these major corporations, we need some like a middleman to negotiate for us, even if it's for a big block of us, because the companies, these corporations, these multi-million dollar corporations are there to raise more billions and millions of dollars for their board members or for their stock. um when COVID happened, right, with the little c, I'm gonna call it, because still sensitive topic online. When little c happened, 19C, um and these companies got money and all that, what they do, they went back and bought stock and increased their stock. It
Oh yeah.
didn't trickle down to no worker. They didn't create new jobs. They just did stock buybacks.
Yeah.
That's all they ended up doing. And the government, wink, wink, the government that has a lot of millionaires was like, no, they're gonna do right. We're gonna give it to them, and they're gonna do right. They're gonna do. We need to stop having faith. Be like, yeah, they're gonna do right. Let's just have a little faith. No, it doesn't work like that. In the real world, it does not work like that. We need to set guidelines when we do all this. It needs to be strict guidelines. Plus, there needs to be repercussions if they don't do that. For example, they would have put it and stipulated that you cannot do stock buybacks with the money that they were getting, because they will have to pay back that money or something, some consequence of that. They would have
Well,
not
another
done.
reason to do it to start the buybacks is number one. That way they, if the more stock they own, the more valuable the company itself is. But at the same time, they're offering the stock options to their executives where they can take stock or in the company versus raises per se. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
well,
saying?
for the top like CEOs and stuff
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
what I
Yeah,
said for the executives. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
so I mean, it's crazy the way they do us with all that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
I mean,
Even.
again, just got to be careful
Hmm.
with these folks. Pay attention to what they're doing. It's all about their bottom line. They don't care about us. You know, I mean, and we know people that work for Amazon right now. I mean, I'm grateful that they do hire folks from our community, but at the same time, like you say, working 10 hours a day and no paid lunch and none of that other kind of stuff is, I mean, man, it's rough, especially being on your feet for 10 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? It's really
Yeah.
bad. It's really bad. So,
And Amazon is one of the largest companies around too, guys. And work for a corporation, you should see how much the CEO is getting paid and what's the average of a worker getting paid. And if it's the CEO getting paid over 300% of over a regular worker, there's something wrong. When a CEO makes $50 million in 1 year and the average worker is making what, 70 grand a year, there is a disconnect. What is that CEO actually providing for this company when he just sits in his office? I don't
well,
know if they roam the floor or what. I don't know if they
well,
let me go one day and work with amongst the people. I want to experience that. Let me see what my workers are doing. That's what a good leader would do. Let me go check out the bottom. Let me see what we can improve. Let me put my hands. Let me get my hands dirty a little bit instead of just stay in my air conditioning office. I get my whatever food I get. I'm right there just chilling back. You know.
right. I mean, again, and let me go here, Pedro. I'm old enough to remember when
Hmm.
a CEO or corporate executive, whatever, right?
Hmm.
When they got 50 times the regular pay, what the average worker, and people was talking about how excessive that was, and now, like you said, they're making 2, 3, 400 times what the average worker is making. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the average worker is the one that's really making the money. They the ones that's breaking their back to make things happen, right? Them other fools, they
Yeah.
just sitting up in the office with their little suit and tie on, sipping on brunch or whatever the company provides for them to eat or whatever, for whether it's breakfast meeting, a lunch meeting, whatever the case may be, all that on the company dime. You know what I'm saying? They chilling. You know what I'm saying? And working out ways to, I hate to say it this way, but screw the workers and screw their, the customers. You know, all that kind of stuff. So again, you got to pay attention to all this kind of stuff. So anyway, let's get into these commercials. We're right at the bottom of the hour, so we can try to work these other two articles on the other side.
Yeah, sorry, Ed. My computer charge is not working. So my computer is acting up. It's not responding. Everything is slow.
You want me to get up there and do it?
Can you?
Let me go here.
I don't know what happened. It was. Oh my God. Technical difficulty, guys. Yeah, but it is a little sometimes daunting with these big corporations. It can seem daunting when it comes to trying to unionize.
Well, I'm good. Here we go.
Go for it.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United. Did you know that people in third world countries do not have access to canes? The You Can Give initiative gives canes to people all over the world who cannot get canes. The You Can Give initiative not only goes to these countries and gives people canes, but they give people canes and a digital recorder that is solar powered that has instructions on how to use the cane and instructions on how to repair the cane. The You Can Give initiative is a very worthy cause, giving canes to blind people all over the world. If you have a cane that you're no longer using, or a cane that's broken or bent, you can go to youcangive.org and get a shipping label, and you can ship your cane to Jimmy in Tennessee, and he will refurbish it and give your cane to a blind person in a third world country. That website again is youcangive.org.
Thank you, Ed. I'm back too.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for those, God first, I don't know if you've heard this before or not, but bottom line, Jimmy's got a great thing going on over there. He's trying to help folks in third world countries where they cannot get a cane. I mean, in some countries, a cane might cost them a whole month's income, you know. So
A family's month income.
yeah. I mean, and then other places, it just not, you can't get them, period. You know what I'm saying? Some places, blind folks, disabled folks, whatever the case, they end up being, outcasts and stuff like that. So, Jimmy does what he can to help these folks. He's already given out, I don't even know how many canes. Got to be close to 1,000 canes by now since I've been dealing with him.
I think it's over 2,500.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, he's just really, really good with that. So, you might hear us do a commercial about custom cane, but that's also Jimmy. That's the business he has that now supports the You Can Give thing. So, whether you want to donate some money or donate a broken cane or you want to buy a custom cane, bottom line, all those funds will go towards You Can Give and help to put canes in the hands of people in third world countries. One more quick thing about our ugly sweater party. Again, it's still going on. We got a Mexican meal jumping off. You can choose beef, chicken, or pork. It comes with rice and beans. It comes with a salsa. I mean, we're giving
Tortillas.
you, you get the tortillas, you get water, soda, cheesecake, all of that stuff comes with your meal for $35. We are accepting payment at the door. We would prefer that, you Zelle your money in to reserve your spot. But, because if you show up at the door and we've already reached our max, I'm sorry, you ain't going to get no meal. So if you let us know you're coming, we get your name on the list, you get you a better shot, right? So, but anyway, yeah, we'll be doing that on Saturday. We'll be hanging out and doing what we do. Pedro, I think I was telling you, man, I can't get an ugly sweater. It's too late to order one, so I won't be wearing an ugly sweater. Well, I mean, I wasn't going to be in the contest anyway. As a CEO and whatnot, I wouldn't enter the contest on that. I don't want to be the one to win the prize. You know what I'm saying? Let that be one of our guests to win the prize. So
That's how I felt. So I was like, I don't need an ugly sweater. Plus, if I don't like it, I don't wear it. Why am I gonna buy something that I believe is ugly and be like, oh, it's an
right.
ugly thing. Let me buy it. What a
Yeah.
marketing scheme, guys. But that's just me. That's just me talking. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. I
And,
hear you.
it's good to participate in stuff. I'll probably buy one later. I just haven't seen one. I know Ed mentioned one that I was like, oh, I would have bought that one because,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
Well, that was something else when we were looking at them. Number one, the prices went up the bigger they are. But at the same time, they just wasn't going to be able to deliver them on time. Otherwise, I would have went ahead and got the one I wanted. But it is what it is, but we're going to hang out and have fun anyway, regardless. You know what I'm
I
saying?
can't wait for them nachos. Me, I'm
Well,
a nacho dude. I like the classic nachos from the ice cream truck, and stuff like that. I don't need all that fancy stuff, but I do like that fancy stuff with the crema and the guacamole and the beans and all that good stuff we get
well,
from the nachos at the restaurants, though. You know,
well, you won't be getting that from Blind United. You're going to get some cheese and some jalapenos and some
hey, I'm
chips.
good with that, Ed. I told you I like the nachos from the ice cream truck. Hey, if the sauce is
So
bomb, the nachos are bomb.
But anyway, like I said, if you want to come out and hang out with us, please do. So let me get on to this next article
I got
for
you.
us.
I got you.
Okay.
You want me to
All
play
right,
it?
we're gonna jump. Yeah, we're gonna jump. You got it. Go ahead and do the Uber Eats thing. The hidden cost in the convenience of doing Uber Eats and stuff like that. So see what
Let's
you
check
think
it
about
out.
this one.
Today on Coffee Time, the hidden costs of convenience in food delivery. Food delivery apps like Uber Eats offer unparalleled convenience, but have you ever noticed that your favorite meal costs more online than in the restaurant? Today, we're exploring why restaurants mark up prices on delivery platforms and how this impacts both businesses and consumers. Why restaurants increase prices on delivery apps. High commission rates. Uber Eats charges restaurants 15% to 30% in commission per order. For small businesses operating on slim profit margins, these fees significantly reduce their earnings. Operational cost recovery. To avoid losing money on delivery orders, many restaurants adjust pricing on these platforms. Markups help cover the commission fees while maintaining profitability. How markups work. A meal costing $10 for dine-in customers may be listed as $12.50 or more on Uber Eats to account for a 25% commission fee. Even fast food giants like McDonald's and Burger King, which negotiate lower commissions, often reflect slightly higher prices on delivery platforms. What this means for consumers. Perceived premium pricing. Customers not only pay higher menu prices, but also face additional delivery and service fees, making food delivery significantly more expensive than dining in or ordering directly. Transparency concerns. While Uber Eats itemizes fees, it doesn't always clarify that menu prices may include a markup. This can leave consumers feeling misled about the total cost of their order. Insights from restaurants and experts. Restaurants' perspective. Delivery orders represent a growing revenue stream, and markups are a necessary step for many businesses to remain viable amidst the high fees charged by delivery platforms. Consumer awareness. Experts recommend diners compare menu prices directly with the restaurant to identify savings and better understand pricing differences. How to save money on food delivery. Order directly. Placing orders through a restaurant's website or phone can help avoid third-party fees, resulting in lower costs. Choose pickup. Many restaurants offer the same pricing for pickup as they do for dine-in, saving you the markup and delivery fees. Explore alternative platforms. Lower-cost platforms like ChowNow allow restaurants to maintain their standard menu pricing, providing a more affordable option for consumers. Conclusion. Food delivery apps offer undeniable convenience, but often come with hidden costs that can quickly add up. Understanding these pricing practices helps consumers make informed choices while supporting their favorite restaurants. What do you think about delivery app markups? Do you believe the convenience is worth the cost, or do you prefer ordering directly? Let's discuss. Now, back to the coffee time crew for their thoughts.
Well, I mean, I know for sure that I noticed it early on with like these apps. I mean, I haven't, being honest, I haven't never done Uber Eats. I've done like Postmates and stuff like that, but I definitely noticed a difference in the pricing. And again, to me, it was like a 30% markup, you know. And then on top of that 30% markup, now you got to pay these delivery fees and platform fees. You know, I guess we're getting into that topic about junk fees, right? So, I mean, in a crunch, you know what I'm saying? If you're really hungry, the convenience of it, whatever, I get it, right? I mean, I'm sitting there thinking about this now, right? Because we're going to do this thing on Friday with Uber Eats, and wow, you know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that my Uber One membership subscription is going to knock that price down, because a lot of stuff I get free delivery on that, plus I get little promos where they knock off 15, $20 for this, 20, whatever. So we'll see how it play out. But it just, I'm in a situation right now where that's my best alternative to get the stuff where I need it to be on time. You know what I'm saying? When I need it to be there. So I had to bite the bullet on it.
Yeah, and I want to talk about what they talked about first about the upcharge that the restaurants are doing on their items. Yeah, you could go to your favorite restaurant or a fast food joint and see the differences on Uber Eats and the difference on their price. Even though Uber is coming in picking it up, what's the extra charge that they want to put on their item for the Uber to come pick it up? Now, I'm excluding the extra charges that you get from the app and making those that purchase. I'm talking about the restaurant upcharging their food if they're packing it up the same as you will be going to pick it up. You know, it seems like there might be wanting a little extra. What do you think, Ed? I might be butchering it. I might have missed something in the article about why they're doing that. But to me, it seems unfair. It seems money hungry tactics. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I quit using it basically because of that. I mean, like I used to do Jack in the Box, right? Give me a meal
Mm-hmm.
over there.
Mm-hmm.
The meal, if I do the drive through or walk in, it's 11, $12. Well, when you do it on Postmates or whatever, by the time you get it home, it's $24, $25. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but no, I'm good. And unless I'm just really that hungry and maybe didn't make it to the market and don't have food to cook, I'll do it in those types of circumstances. But again, I kind of backed away from that kind of stuff, man. But you
Yeah,
know,
but in our community, it's convenient. I know my better half Monica, she orders from Uber Eats. She does a little promo sometimes, and they do help. But think about it, if they're able to get you 50% off, 40% off, they're able to do that constantly,
well, I mean,
because
the
there's
sad part is that Uber Eats and these different platforms,
yes.
they're charging the restaurants for that's where the markup is coming in, because Uber's charging the restaurants, and then on
Mm.
top of that they charge us.
Ooh, they double dipping in my
Right.
opinion.
Right. So they charging the restaurants between 25 and 30%, right?
Mm.
So they run that's why they got a separate pricing menu. They got to do that to cover the cost, Just like we try to tell
Mm.
some of these other folks all these tariffs. Now we gonna end up paying for that. Yeah. So you just basically, let's put it in those terms. Uber is charging the restaurant a 25% tariff to
Okay, go
deliver
for it.
their product, right? And then on top of that, they charge us a delivery fee for delivering the very same product they just got paid for delivering. So again, but all that cost, it ends up getting passed on to us as a consumer, you know. So I mean, again, it's really crazy. It's sad that we've come to this. I mean, I appreciate the convenience, I really do. I'm not crying about that. I'm just crying about the pricing. And to me,
The
it's
convenience is
extreme.
there. It's gonna be there, the convenience. But yes, pricing, the double dipping, is extreme, and you could tell the hungriness, of corporate America right there. Uber, by doing that, could be damaging those businesses too. I might just switch to picking up, but sometimes you live in rural areas or you live, a little far, and it's hard to get your groceries or your items. So I understand why folks do it. But, Uber and these other platforms have been aggressively looking for every little way to charge. If it's their drivers or their pickup or delivery, however it is, something is going on that I don't think our people in power, our local government, or our federal government are not overseeing it like they should be. You know, Instead of putting the regulations that they need to put and to protect consumers and protect workers, is not happening. One of the popular person that was in, I think it was in the FTC. I'm not sure. I might be getting the letters wrong. But Nina Khan, you heard of Nina Khan, Ed?
Yeah, that she's like, exactly. She's doing everything she can right now before she leaves office. I mean,
Yes.
she was getting into people like these junk fees. She's all into the regular, creating some holding these people accountable for these junk fees, stuff like that. I mean, it's not going to be the same, FTC or the Federal Trade Commission. So I mean, again, it's there. That department is there to protect the consumers, right? I mean, like she blocked a merger between Kroger's and one of them other stores, Albertsons, which would have made them one of the biggest supermarkets, where they're controlling a bigger percentage of the market, and now they can basically just run their prices up because there's no competition. You know, that's what the FTC is all about, trying to make sure that there's a level playing field. When you got people doing that, right, then mom and pop, they come in, they can't compete. You know what I'm saying? And it's got to be, more accessible for, the entrepreneur to start up a startup business, right? And not be gobbled up by these big conglomerates, But that's where they wanted to go. That's what they're lobbying and spending millions and billions of dollars on with these politicians every year. So, that's what we end up with.
Yes, yes, and it's on both sides, guys. It's not only on one side, but Nina Khan was a popular that even the young generation knows. My 18-year-old, um, I thought he didn't really follow politics, but he was like, look, the only thing that I'm concerned about is the new administration that they fired Nina Khan, right? Well, we already got the answer. My youngest was like, "Oh man, she was doing what she had to do, and you know." So the youngsters, they know, they see what's happening. They might not be invested on left and right and stuff like that yet, but they see who is doing the good in the government.
Well,
I was surprised.
they see who's benefiting from legislation, where
Mm-hmm.
the work that she was doing was benefiting the consumers. And then now you get somebody that's going to be in there that's they're not going to be looking out for the consumers because most of them folks
Mm-hmm.
is all billionaires and whatever. So they're all
They're
about
set.
increasing their bottom line again. So it's getting
Yes,
ready to get
yes.
crazy around there for the next 4 years.
There
That's for
was
sure.
there was a study, right? There was a study that said 3/3 of billionaires and millionaires are
Yeah.
not satisfied with their wealth. Think of that one. 3/3 are not satisfied with their wealth. So that means they're gonna try to increase and increase and increase and increase. And you have a bottomless pit. And I believe being addicted to money is an addiction. It's an addiction we have within billionaires, you know?
Yeah, I mean, again, they're just
They're
greed,
hoarding.
Yeah, I mean, they're greedy, man. I mean, money becomes power at that point. You know what I'm saying? The more money you got, the more power, the more influence. I mean, look at Musk. Look at all the influence and how much power he's got over what was going on right now. But it's all
Mm,
self-serving. Of course, he's learning from the best that when he's on front of the camera, you always want to make it sound like, you're helping out, the average American. But in essence, they're just trying to line their pockets. That's all they're trying to do. So
yeah, yeah. And it
it's
was
crazy.
sad that they took out the cancer research, for the kids. But we do have one more article to go, so let's get that one started or what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. All right.
Today on Coffee Time, Uber drivers demand transparency and fair pay. Across the United States, Uber drivers
What happened?
are rallying for greater
It won't play.
transparency and fair compensation in response to long-standing frustration.
Yep. It won't. Let me see
Today
this
on
one.
Coffee Time,
Well, we ain't
Today
gonna
on
worry
Coffee
about it.
Time, Uber
All right,
drivers
stop it.
demand
Wow,
transparency
it
and
is
fair
about
pay.
the Uber
Across the
drivers and the
United States,
unfair
Uber
wages and
drivers
stuff
are
like
rallying for
that.
greater transparency
Wow,
and
hey,
fair
they've been
compensation in
listening.
response
They
to
blocked our
long-standing
articles. I'm
frustrations
just
with the
messing with you
company's
guys.
pay
I'm just messing
system
with you.
and
But
employment practices.
yes,
Let's dive
there
into the
is
key issues, recent
a
protests,
bad
and the broader
way
Well,
these
implications
drivers are
for the
getting
gig
paid and the
economy.
percentage
Key
that they're getting
concerns.
paid. What happened?
Lack of
I know you heard the
transparency.
article, so give us a little
Drivers
insight.
report discrepancies between the fares they receive and what passengers are charged, creating confusion and mistrust.
What
This
happened there?
opacity makes it difficult
I
for
mean, I can
drivers
still
to
hear the
calculate
article.
their earnings or
Oh,
anticipate changes in pay.
wow, I can't.
Unfair deactivations. Many drivers have faced sudden deactivations without clear explanations or an appeals process, leaving them without income and undermining their job security. Reduced earnings. Rising operational costs like fuel and vehicle maintenance are squeezing drivers' earnings. Many attribute declining income per trip to Uber's fare policies and commission structures, which they say disproportionately favor the company. Recent protests. San Francisco, February 2024. Over 100 drivers gathered to demand fair pay, more transparent policies, and an end to sudden deactivations. New York City, December 2024. Hundreds of Uber and Lyft drivers organized a protest caravan, calling for compensation for lost wages, pay increases to account for rising expenses, and greater protections against exploitative practices. Uber's response. Uber maintains that fare adjustments aim to balance driver earnings with passenger demand. However, drivers and advocacy groups argue that inconsistent policies and opaque calculations are harming their ability to earn a sustainable income. Ongoing challenges. The conflict between rideshare companies and their drivers highlights the broader issues of labor rights within the gig economy. Key concerns include compensation structures. Drivers are pushing for clearer, fairer systems to ensure their earnings reflect the work they perform. Job security. Sudden deactivations without due process continue to jeopardize drivers' livelihoods. Benefits and protections. Many drivers seek benefits such as health insurance, paid leave, and retirement contributions, aligning their rights with those of traditional employees. Conclusion. As gig economy workers advocate for fair treatment and sustainable livelihoods, the ongoing tensions between drivers and rideshare companies like Uber remain a critical issue. Greater transparency and equitable policies are necessary to foster trust and ensure fair compensation for drivers. What's your take on these labor disputes? Are rideshare companies doing enough to support their drivers, or is it time for major reforms? Now, back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
So, you say you wasn't hearing it, Pedro. I heard the whole article. Hopefully, folks that are tuning in heard the article. So, again, Uber and Lyft, they're really. We passed an article. I mean, we passed a thing a couple of years back, Prop 82 or 86, whatever it was, and that was when they were trying to figure out, what classification they were going to put these people in. They wanted to keep them as contract contract workers, I should say, right? But that Prop 86, it was supposed to, be where they could buy into health insurance and all this other kind of stuff, But myself personally, I use Uber a lot for the transportation side, especially. And when I get home in the evenings or whatever, I get receipts, my email receipts, right? And it shows the breakdown, man. And it's sad to think that these drivers are getting less than 50% of what I'm being charged. It's crazy. Again, we're talking about junk fees. Come on, man. Especially from the company side, you got 10 million drivers, so if you get $1 from every one of them per hour, that's $10 million an hour you're making. How much money do you need to make? When is enough? Especially when these folks are out here driving their own cars. They got to pay for their gas. They got to pay for all their tires. They got to pay for whatever maintenance, oil changes, all that other kind of stuff. They got to pay for their own insurance. All of these costs are coming out of less than 50% of what the consumer is being charged. And that's crazy. It's just outright, to me, that's despicable. So,
yes, it is. It shows the greed of corporate America. And about their bottom line, it's just all what they're carrying. You're right. They got 10 million drivers and $1 for each, and now they got what, $10 million? And where's that $10 million going? In their pocket. And what they're saying, well, they're using our application, to our system, our platform, to get these rides, and we have to maintain our platform. But one thing is maintaining, and one thing is overcharging and overpricing to get more money in. And I know they need to be operating at, at least make some money, of course, but they're trying to over excessively charge us and find ways where they can make a dollar extra, but they don't want to up the minimum wage across the whole country. The federal minimum wage is $7.25, but these corporations are allowed to take so much from the public, from the United States citizens, the Americans that make their company grow, where they built their wealth. Like for Elon Musk, he came over here as an immigrant, build his wealth and things like that, but he wants to take from the American people. He should be appreciative that he was able to come to America, build his company, build wealth, and become a billionaire. He should be appreciative, happy that America was the place where he was able to do that. Instead of,
Wow.
no, you know what? Let me take. And that's a person that is not appreciative of our America and what it offers to everyone, a chance to become and build wealth,
Well, I hear
you
you.
know?
And, then again, a lot of folks don't realize this as well. What's worse than the federal minimum wage is some of these states and are out here, and they are what they call right to work states. You
Mm,
understand what that means, Pedro?
If
So,
somebody
so
agrees,
if
go ahead,
somebody
explain to our
agrees
viewers.
to right, if somebody agrees to do the same job I'm doing for $10 an hour, if they agree to do it for two, that's all they get because it's a right to work place. If they advertise, oh, we're only paying $2 an hour, and you apply for that job, you got a right to work. You accepted that $2 an hour wage. You know what I'm saying? So
A-
it's sad.
And look at the way it's named, right to work. This my right to work. I want to go work. But you look at the underline of it. If a job is getting paid $15, and here comes somebody, oh man, okay, I'll accept it for 5, you know, and then it's a right to work, and that's what you're stuck at, $2. And
Right.
who does that benefit? The executive class, the management class, because that worker is actually being screwed for the rest of his funds. Like if he's getting paid $5, the job was 15, he's getting screwed off from $10, and that $10 is going where? To that corporation.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
so we need to understand that when they're over here on the pews and talking and trying to talk to the public, and I'm saying I'm about workers. Guys, sometimes this is all for show. You have to actually look at how they vote, their policies on what they believe, and things like that, because sometimes even from both sides, we end up getting screwed some way or another. It's good to be aware and be
Right.
into your local elections, because you could make things move more faster in your local elections than a national elections. But we here putting people in office believing that they are for us. And if you feel like some of these need to change, call your local congressman. Voice your opinion. Let them know that you will tell everybody not to vote for them, that and things like that, because they work for us, the people, the the lower class, the middle class, the poor class. They don't work for these billionaires that throw money at them and things like that. It shouldn't be working like that, because it becomes what? It becomes a fascist government, meaning that is run by the billionaires and run by the upper class, and there's no access to the middle class or to the poor class.
So
You
on
know.
that note, we are at the end of our time. So just
Mm-hmm.
know that we are going to stay on top of this kind of stuff, and we're going to do whatever we can to always call them out and hopefully, hold them accountable for their dastardly deeds. So uh, again, we got Christmas coming up tomorrow. Everybody, please enjoy your Christmas. Have fun, enjoy your family, your friends, whatever you're going to be doing for your holiday celebration. We will be taking a day off tomorrow, of course, but we will be back on Thursday and Friday. So,
Mhm.
while you're sitting there rubbing your belly because you got a belly ache from eating too much, you can kick back and listen to us for a little while, right? So, on that note, my brother, enjoy your Christmas Eve. I'm
Thank
gonna do
you.
what I can to enjoy mine. Everybody else is tuning in. Please enjoy yours. And as always, in parting, please like, subscribe, share. Hit that notification bell, follow, whatever it is on whatever platform you might be
Hmm.
watching this from. It really helps the algorithms and helps our content to get out there so more and more people can see it and become aware of what we're doing. So, Miss
Hmm.
God first and everybody else, we appreciate you. Enjoy your Christmas, and we will see you on the next